you can discuss a topic and all that.
Right. Yeah. Tejas, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Please.
sir. I think it's 4:00. Good afternoon, everybody. Very warm welcome to 10th edition of SAMVAAD. Today we have a very distinguished INAE fellow, Professor S.S. Murthy. Professor Murthy is not only a distinguished academician and an outstanding researcher, he is also a very good administrator as an institute builder. Professor Murthy, who was born in Shikaripura in state of Karnataka, got his bachelor's in electrical engineering in 1967 from BMS College of Engineering in Bangalore, securing 9th position rank in the university. Subsequently, he obtained his MTech and PhD degrees from IIT Bombay and IIT Delhi respectively in the year 1969 and 1974. Professor Murthy started his professional career as a lecturer at BITS Pilani in 1969 and moved to IIT Delhi as a faculty in 1970. Here at IIT Delhi in 1975, he became the assistant professor, associate professor in 1980, and the professor in the year 1983. From 1998 to 2001, Professor Murthy was the head of the electrical engineering department, and he has been the CEA chair professor from the year 2000 to 2003 and 2006 to 2011. In recognition of his outstanding contribution, he was designated as a senior professor at IIT Delhi from the year 2006. He superannuated on 31st December 2011 after serving the institute for the longest period of 41 years. As an outstanding researcher, Professor Murthy has published several research articles. Professor Murthy holds 4 patents concerning the self-excited induction generator, microhydral applications, and a novel braking scheme. He also transferred technology of self-excited and grid-connected induction generators to industry for low and medium power generation under standalone or grid-connected mode using energy sources such as wind, wave, small hydro, biomass, and fossil fuels. He designed the first indigenous 55 kilowatt wind electrical generator for Kirloskar Electric. He developed 150 kilowatt generator for wave energy, which was installed near Trivandrum. He has transferred technology on a novel generator for portable gensets to industry. The indigenous technology developed by him under a DST-funded project was used to install 5 pico hydro standalone power plants in Karnataka. As an administrator, Professor Murthy has proved to be a good institutional builder. Professor Murthy effected visible turnaround as a director of Electrical Research and Development Association in Baroda from the year 1990 to 1992, and as a director of NIT Surathkal from the year 2003 to 2005. He was also the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Karnataka at Kalburgi from the year 2013 to 2014. Currently, Professor Murthy is a member of the Board of Governors of IIT-Dharwad and a member of the Executive Committee of Indian National Academy of Engineering, Bangalore chapter. Professor Murthy, for his contribution, has received many national and international awards and recognition, notably among them being Life Fellow of IEEE, Fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, Bimal Bose Award for Contribution in Power Electronics, 2007 IEEE PES Chapter Outstanding Engineering Award, and President of India Prize for the best paper published in Journal of Institutes of Engineers. Professor Murthy was also chosen as a Global Distinguished Lecturer of IEEE IAS for the year 2014 and 2015. Please join me in welcoming Professor S.S. Murthy to SAMVAAD. Sir, it's our pleasure to have you on SAMVAAD and thanks for accepting our invitation. Before I hand over, I request audience to post their question in the Q&A box on the lower right side of the screen. Sir, over to you and thank you once again for accepting our invitation, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Tejas. At the outset, I thank Professor Sheshu, Director of IIT-Dharwad, and Professor Tejas for organizing this webinar lecture that gives me an opportunity to share my thoughts on the IIT system and how it can pursue excellence based on my experience in the IIT system for nearly 42 years as faculty in IIT Delhi. And I'm just sharing my experience and suggestions, what I feel like, because IITs are also at the crossroads, as India is also at the crossroads to have a major jump towards becoming a very important economic power. So I will now run through my slides and then convey what I feel. It was Mokshanva Vishwesvaraya who said, the way to build a nation is to build a good citizen. Majority of citizens should be efficient, of good character, and possess a high sense of duty. I think the IITs normally follows this great principle of a great statesman. And the quality of a country depends upon quality of the people. Advanced countries, you notice that they have a higher personal quality parameters apart from good quality of life. So how do we improve quality of people? And education is the key. And genesis of education in India, we know it is about 5,000 years old. There was a Guru Shishya Parampara was a tradition here. And discussion debate was central to education in India. If you look at Vedanta, Buddhism, Jainism, and all philosophies, there are a lot of discussion debates. We have the Nachiketa Yama in the Upanishads, the Shankaracharya Mandan Mishra debates, and even Amartya Sen talks Indians as argumentative Indian. So this is a strength of the country, and that is central to education in India. And as far as engineering education is concerned, it started in mid-19th century, and it followed the practice-oriented pattern of pre-war British education. And it was mainly centered initially to cater to the needs of public works departments, electricity boards, postal and telegraphs, railways, ordnance factories, all in the government sector. At independence, India had 28 polytechnics and 25 engineering colleges. And expectation was to produce engineers and technicians to operate and maintain equipment which were largely imported from West. And electricity and railways came to India not far behind the West because of the need of the British, but further growth was slow. And post-independence, our dream was to build world-class engineers and world-class institutions. And it's a big challenge. So in that direction, IITs and NITs form the two major pillars of technical education in India, each having their own genesis and growth. Of course, the ministries recently said that they would like to aim for a 6% GDP for education, and how and when we will achieve is important. And many of you may know, but I'm just repeating, genesis of IITs is a result of Sarkar Committee set up by the British incidentally in 1945. The mandate was to develop higher technical institutions in India. It recommended setting up of at least 4 higher technical institutions similar to MIT of USA. So that means the model was a pattern of MIT of USA and the same type of quality and structure, one each in North, South, East, and West, to produce creative scientist engineers. So objective was to produce world-class technical manpower for India's development. And have we met the objectives? That is it. Perhaps to some extent. So this is the time to introspect to improve. Now, if you look at the evolution of IITs, the first generation was in Kharagpur, Bombay, Kanpur, Madras, and Delhi, set up in 1951 to 61, as mentioned here. Then Assam Accord led to the Guwahati in 1994. And then government decided to convert some of the old well-performing institutions like Roorkee, Banaras, and ISM Dhanbad to IITs in 2001, 2012, 2016. Then there was a major policy to increase the number of IITs. It was set, and second generation came up in 2008 and 2009 at Ropar, Jodhpur, Gandhinagar, Bhubaneswar, Patna, Hyderabad, Mandi, and Indore. Then as a follow-up, because the government made a policy, they would like to have one IIT in all the major states. Accordingly, others were, third generation came up with Tirupati, Palakkad, Bhilai, Goa, Jammu, and Dharwad. So we now have 23 IITs of different stages of development. And these are the commitments, IITs for India or India for IITs. Is a national social professional commitment of IITs is important. And the objective is to produce integrated human development. And IITs must be in driver's seat in technology, else others will drive us. So IITs must produce world-class bachelors, masters, and doctors graduates. This is the mandate which cannot be compromised. Now, there's a confusion about eminence and excellence. I saw a dictionary. Eminence means acknowledged superiority within a particular sphere, but he need not be excellent. And excellence means the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. So we have to say, are IITs eminent, or excellent, or both? So this is a matter of debate, but I think it's important that we should be both excellent and eminent. Now, just to quote Bhagavad Gita, which says, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam, means work with excellence is true yoga. So IITs must follow this dictum, work with excellence. That is the goal that should be pursued. And I always say pillars of IIT are two, integrity and excellence. System collapses if any one of them is compromised. And an IIT product, what do I expect? I said he must be a person with humility. It is mentioned in, I quoted this, I did not repeat. He must be truly secular, treats all human beings as equal, does not discriminate based on caste, creed, religion, language, region, gender, race, etc. So we want all IIT campuses are like mini India, with everybody from all over the country and maybe all over the world living in harmony, working towards for the great cause. Integrity is important, truthful, honest, ethical, disciplined, and obey the law. He must be a good leader and a follower and a good communicator. IIT education has three components: knowledge assimilation, self-study, knowledge dissemination, teaching, knowledge generation, research. All the three are important functions of the IIT system. And education in knowledge economy, it requires GR of 30% required in knowledge economy. US has 84%, UK 60%, Japan 55%, China 30%, and India 15%. So we have to increase the GR. There are 100,000 additional applicants for each engineering in India. So we need one brick and mortar university every week. So massive online education is India's only choice. Therefore, open distance learning is mandated in NEP, and IITs must play a major role in this effort. So education and not examination is the goal of IITs. And these are the NEP 2020 highlights on technical education. He emphasizes on interdisciplinary actions, industry academic interaction, innovation research, technology for humanity, and pursue these new areas, etc. as mentioned here. Then India must be Vishwaguru. That is what the NEP mentions. But unfortunately, now India is only a Vishwashishya, all rushing abroad for studies, perhaps to all countries. Recently found that there are nearly 1 lakh Indian students studying for medicines all over the world, including Bangladesh. Therefore, I think we must sit up and say, India must be able to first provide opportunities for all the bright youngsters with fire in their bellies to get world-class education in here, apart from trying to educate the people from outside. Okay. Now, we have 23 IITs and 31 NITs, and they attract best students and teachers, and they form the largest group of premier engineering institutions in the world. So IITs and NITs together have the potential to become the strongest cumulative knowledge storehouse in domain areas. So they can be role models for others to emulate. So this is an opportunity, but we have to show the strength and its impacts. So we must aim world class. So we must target to produce, I would say, 1 lakh world-class engineers annually in India. So that would make 100 institutions should be made world-class. So let us identify 100 NIRF ranks institutions of India and identify them, and each can admit about 1,000 students each year. So we must make a basket comprising of IITs, NITs, IIITs, IISc, ISER, select central, state, and private universities, including foreign universities and autonomous colleges. And in this whole basket, IITs must take the lead, and this should be the objective of producing 1 lakh world-class engineers annually from India. So that would mean all must have level playing ground, pay globally competitive salaries. You can follow the China example. They attract a lot of non-resident Chinese faculty to come and teach in China, but we have a very few NRI faculty coming to India to teach. So we need to have large number of adjunct and visiting faculty in each of these institutions. Of course, IIT is a success story of independent India. All Indians must be proud of this achievement. And it is because of dedicated efforts of thousands and thousands of faculty and visionary directors. And they have done a wonderful job in building up these institutions. And lakhs of bright students and alumni have made this a jewel to shine over the last 70 years. But country is lamenting because despite this trend, the country is lamenting why IITs do not find place among top world ranking, even compared to newly developed countries like China and Singapore. So our lawmakers are asking, industry is asking, everybody is asking why we are not among the top 100 at least. And of course, in current status in India, IICT has the data of the existing status of engineers produced and where they're employed, what is the campus recruitment, etc., etc. Okay. So our aim should be, let us not globalize India, but Indianize the globe as far as engineering education is concerned. And I'm confident we are capable of doing it with so much of potential we have. Now, the objective of today's lecture is how to ensure excellence in IIT education. Okay, so I'm just trying to share thoughts, where do we stand? So we know the best institute is one which attracts best students and best faculty, and IITs are therefore rated best. Therefore, a quality of institution depends on quality of students and faculty. Now, excellence, that means for that you need excellence in 3 points. You need excellence in students, faculty, and governance. If any one of them is not excellent, then you cannot have excellent institution. You need 3 Fs. You need faculty, funds, and freedom. All the 3 are important. They must be the best. Okay, they contribute to the quality of the institute. Okay, for a best institute. And we cannot rest. IITs cannot rest in past laurels. Future challenges are huge. Opportunities are plenty. Should play active role to make India a strong, technical, advanced economy. Should strive to be among 100 in the world ranking. And we are still lagging many new developed economies. Then enormous brain potential must be fully explored and exploited to move ahead fast to show tangible results. And who are the stakeholders of IITs? I would say students and parents, faculty, management, administration, industry, society, people, and government. These are all the stakeholders. And they have to be, all of them must be, needs must be addressed. And Atmanirbhar Bharat, or Make in India, Developed India. So leading engineering institutions can play a crucial role. So, but as of now, the criticism is the contribution to economic development of country is not very significant compared to similar institutions in developed world. Therefore, IITs must lead in this desire to make India Atmanirbhar. I think this is a challenge that must be addressed. Now, you say world class. What do you mean by world class? World class is you must be comparable to the world's best in teaching, research, resources, governance, infrastructure, outreach, and internationalization. All the 3 we must be comparable to the world's best. Only then we will be world class. Now, of course, there are new institutions have problems of growth, but they must try to come to top by this following simple principle. Let's say best institutions are built by following best practice of best institutions. So this can be good guidelines for new IITs. So good faculty, students, infrastructure, and governance. So these all the four are equally important. Okay. So the expansion has affected, as we know, by conversion of old institutions, setting up new ones. So they require different strategies. New ones require different type of strategies, and that need to be addressed. Now, infrastructure is critical. I would say infrastructure is like a body with faculty as a brain. IITs with well-led campuses in vast areas have best possible infrastructure, and campus area of IITs vary. Like large ones are Kharagpur or 2,100 acres, IIT BHU, IIT Kanpur with around 1,100 acres. Then low end are Goa, Delhi, Roorkee, Gandhinagar, Jammu, and also Bhubaneswar, which are around 300 to 400 acres. Rest have nearly 500 acres. So converted IITs are Roorkee, BHU, ISM have oldest campuses, and they have the first 5 IITs are 60 years old, needing renovation, retrofitting. So current infrastructure in the campus is the result of upgradation. So infrastructure of each IIT must be suitably treated to get excellence. So each IIT must, these are the very minimum that required: good campus ambience, 24/7 water, electricity, internet, green, smart, sustainable campuses as per the so-called Griha norms, modern smart classrooms, auditorium, seminar halls, hostels, international hostel. I think it's important to have an international hostel to have internationalization. You must have a healthcare, I would say, with a tele and video consultation, so that the health center need not be crowded. With the present technologies, we should show that the students and faculty and others, they get the advice on health issues from a distance. Then we are housing, the sports, cultural, etc. These are all the standard ones. So what I say is, what the new IIT is supposed to do? You must respond to climate change, and you must plan circular economy with zero waste. So water management, waste management, proper dry waste, e-waste, hazardous waste, etc. Energy management, that renewable energy based microgrids, transport management, electric vehicles, etc. So all campuses must be eco-friendly for others to emulate. So everybody should say, look, it must be like an IIT campuses. All IIT campuses must show this must be a adaptable to climate change, and it should be guiding the other neighboring communities also in this very important task. Okay, and location connectivity has an important bearing on the growth of an IIT. Some are about air, rail, road connectivity, and it has a so each IIT have their own plus and minus points. But with today's communication and internet connectivity, etc., we should try to reduce the impacts and make all IITs, irrespective of location, to reach higher levels of performance. Now, the NEP mandates to increase the GER from 26.3 in 2018 to 50% by 2035, with a minimum of 3,000 students of each HI cluster. Therefore, what should be done is, each IIT campus must plan infrastructure for a minimum student intake of 5,000 with 50% undergraduate. Now, this should increase to 10,000 per IIT by 2030. So that should be the target. So each IIT must produce, should have a campus strength of 10,000 by 2030. And now, an important person for an IIT is the CEO or the director. So excellence can come from excellent CEO, and the expected trait of a director is integrity, vision and leadership, academic expertise. So all the three have to be ensured, and director is expected to have these qualities, and he must get a freedom to drive and promote excellence. I think that is also equally important. And often, of course, he has to do tightrope walking to balance views of ministry and the faculty. Okay, often it may be contradictory. And sometimes communication from ministry may lead to some stress to our directors. And this is the part of the scheme. And ministry is also benevolent to support the director, as goal is same for both, to make IITs reach greater heights. And therefore, the governance of the IITs, a good governance has the following: one is transparency, decentralization, democratic mode, top-down and bottom-up methods. So both are followed in IITs. In fact, the faculty is not told what he should do. He should create work for himself. That is the thing. So, and faculty must feel they own the institute. They are the owners, and they are not the servants of the institute. Okay? They are the masters of the institute. So e-governance must be universal in all IITs with paperless functioning. So the governance must be a top class, the world class, and nothing should stop it from achieving this in a short possible time. And actually, I am proposing that there was education advisors in the ministry, C.H. Jha, D.P. Agarwal, Ashok Sinha, they were education advisors, the educationists, but they functioned very well, and they gave a good guidelines to technical education in the country. This helps in continuity policies, therefore, it is advisable to restore education advisors in the ministry who can provide proper guidance and direction to the scheme of things in centrally funded institutions. So when central government is facing severe shortage of career bureaucrats, lateral inputs is desirable. So I listed a few things which I can tell what should be ideal arrangement between ministry and IITs. Maximize support from ministry to IIT, minimize control, maximize autonomy, maximize accountability. So IITs must show maximum accountability because they have maximum autonomy, and there should be regular monitoring of outcome of IITs. So funding must be based on performance, ranking, and need. So all these things can be the suggestions that can be considered. And of course, autonomy is very critical, academic, administrative, financial. For example, I talked to somebody, professors in Canada. In Canada, the arrangement is the government will only provide funds to the university and they will not ask questions later. But the university must show the result and performance, so that further funding will depend upon the performance. Therefore, give them the freedom to excel. And I think similar things can be done so that there is a limited external interference in the working of IITs. Okay. And autonomy and regulation cannot go together. Autonomy demands accountability. So give them autonomy, but demand accountability. Affiliated colleges don't have much autonomy, they can't perform much. IITs have maximum autonomy, so you can expect high level of excellence from IITs because of the autonomy. And funding, I think there can be several funds. One is teaching fund and 50% from tuition fee. Research fund match locally generated project funds. Maintenance fund, corpus fund or donations, sponsored projects, consultancy, CEP, etc. But I think with the vast number of very well-placed alumni, I think the IITs can plan for a good corpus fund. I understand world IITs are planning about 1,000 crore corpus. IIT Delhi, as of now, seems to have a 300 crore corpus like that. So I think these are the funding issues. Okay. Then accreditation is an issue. They say IITs are not accredited. That is one of the eyesore. But IITs are performance is shown by their publications, their research performance, sponsored projects, and so on, and the ranking. So since they are among the top ranking among the NIRF, so their performance is indirectly monitored. But still, I am proposing the MIT has a system called a visiting committee, comprising stakeholders, including alumni, industry people, experts, government functions, etc. So we can think of such an arrangement for IITs in India. Maybe it can be extended to NITs also. We can think of a visiting committee which can visit maybe once in 2 years or whatever, and they should give a complete assessment and recommendations for the working of that IIT or NIT. So this is one suggestion which I am making. And ranking and recognition is a level of the IITs. You know, NIRF is a good measure where IITs have done well. Now, so this is one way we should be able to assess the performance of the IIT system. Now, Nrf ranking, as we see here in the 2021 is, these are the top 10 institutions: Madras, Delhi, Bombay, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Roorkee, Guwahati, Hyderabad. Then comes to two NITs, NIT Trichy, NIT Karnataka. Therefore, you find that when IIT Madras is nearly 90%, then down the line, the 10th one is 64%, like that. Then these are the ones between 11 to 29. This is the Dhanbad, Indore, BHU, Ropar, Rourkela, NIT Rourkela, Patna, Gandhinagar, Warangal, Calicut, Bhubaneswar, Durgapur. You see here there is an interface between, there are some IITs or some NITs are there in this ranking. Then later on we have the Nagpur, Jaipur, Mandi, Allahabad, Jodhpur, Kurukshetra, Surat, Silchar, Jalandhar, Meghalaya, and Bhopal. And Bhopal is having a 60th rank with 45% score compared to nearly 90% in IIT Madras. So you will see there's a wide range, and later there are both IITs and NITs are interfaced in between with similar scores. So what we notice is the score 80 to 90, 1 to 5 rank, all the 5 are IITs. 70 to 79 scores are 6 and 7, 2 IITs. 60 to 69 ranks are 8 to 14, 4 IITs and 2 NITs. Scores with 55 to 59, scores of and ranks of 19 to 29 is about 4 IITs and 3 NITs. And score of 50-54, rank of 30 to 44 is 2 IITs and 4 NITs. And bottom is those who are scoring 45 to 49 with a rank of 47 to 60 are all NITs. So you find this is the distribution of the ranks among IITs and NITs here as shown. So that means the 5 original IITs are on top, followed by Roorkee, Guwahati, Hyderabad. Roorkee, Varanasi, Dhanbad have also higher ranks. And 2G IITs have varying ranks. Hyderabad is in the lead, following Indore, Ropar, Patna, Gandhinagar. Bhubaneswar, Mandi, and Jodhpur are lagging. Okay. So my comments are: reason for low performance, some 2G IITs may be identified, rectified. There's a wide gap among about 17 IITs in scores, 51 to 90. Ranks vary 1 to 43. So this above gap must be bridged. So our mandate for these IITs must have a NIRF score of at least 70% to be considered excellence. So it's a good practice to link funds with ranking. Therefore, I think with this ranking, the performance of the IITs may be assessed, and then they may be encouraged with proper inputs to reach higher levels of ranking. In NITs, you find that 2 NIT, Trichy, Surathkal, are among the top 9 and 10, and higher than 6 IITs that follow. And they can be supported to reach IIT levels. There are 4 NIT, Rourkela, Warangal, Durgapur are also doing well. Therefore, there is wide variation in ranks of NIT, even old NITs. So there is a big gap among different NITs. And as for rewards and recognition, you find among the IITs, there are 232 INA fellows in IITs, but only 1 in NITs. There are about 75 IEEE fellows in India, out of it 34 from IIT and 1 from NIT. So what is important is, if you want the faculty to perform well and reach higher levels of accomplishment in terms of rewards, you require to hire highly competent faculty in these institutions. Now let us look. It's all India scene, but now let us look how IIT stand globally. Research comparisons. Say investment in GDP in India is around maybe 0.7% in 2018, which is low, whereas comparatively, US has 2.8%, China 2.1%, Israel 4.3%, and Korea 4.2%. And the number of researchers supported are 15 in India per lakh, 111 in China, 423 in USA, and 825 in Israel per lakh of population. So you can see the big gap that we see. And there are nearly 13,000 patents filed in China and 6 lakhs in USA. This is 13 lakhs. Therefore, India is only 46,582 patents with 68% of NRIs. So our patent scene is also not good. And publications, share of scientific publications is 3.1% in 2009 to 4.4% to 4.8%. So that means world 4.8% of publication in 2016 are from India. So whereas USA is 17%, China 18%, like that. Therefore, I think these are the statistics that should make us wake up. And granting aid from central government is not increasing. Into 2021-22, about 6,536 crores, and is the expected funding from government. Tuition increases as tuition fees around 2 lakhs per student, and which may not be increased much. So IIT revenues is around 200-400 crores per IIT for first generation from industrial consulting, and is low for 2G and 3G. So if you add grants in aid, etc., so these 23 campuses about 850 crores per IIT. So about 19,500 crores per year. So that is the type of funding. So this is the national investment and institutional national importance. Therefore, in the funding one has to look up, which is low. So therefore, a mere 5,500 crores annually in consulting from 23 IITs, and research in cutting-edge technologies have not production. So clearly, we are not living up to our potential because not enough resources earmarked for IITs. So this is the matter of concern. In contrast, MIT revenue totaled 24,764 crores in 2018, and large portions from research, investments, and tuition. In China, in this university, Tsinghua University, it is 30,280 crores. You see, compare with around 800 crores for IIT in India. And that year, 29 universities in China had a budget of 5 billion yuan. Okay. Now, if you look at the rankings, many of you are already aware, US ranking this is top 10, MIT, Oxford, Stanford, Cambridge, Harvard, Caltech, Imperial College, then ETH, then UCL and Chicago. And they have almost similar scores. You know, if you say MIT has 100, the 10th one is 94.5. This is the Asia row. I mean, that is the world ranking. This is the Asia ranking. If you look Asia ranking, first is NUS Singapore, then followed by Peking University, then NTU Singapore, then Hong Kong, then mainland China, etc. So out of the 10, 2 are in Singapore, 1 is in Malaysia, and rest is in China. So obviously this is the, and they are all having a score of about 93 to 100%. Okay. But let us look at the ranking, Asia ranking in India. These are the Asia rankings. Then IIT Bombay 42, IIT Delhi 45, then IIT Madras, Kharagpur, Kanpur 64. So among the top 100 are these 5 old IITs, then followed by Roorkee, Guwahati, and of course Banaras, etc. there. So this is the Asia ranking, and these are the scores. You see, if you say the top one, NUS has 100%, the IIT Bombay 72%, like that. Okay. And but let us look at the world ranking of IITs. See, if you look at world ranking of IITs, this is the Bombay, Delhi, Madras, Kanpur, Kharagpur are again top 4 with ranking from 177 to 280, and followed by Guwahati 395, and then Roorkee 400. And if you look at MIT has 100 score, Bombay has 46, and Delhi 45, like that. So this is the percentage. So one has to, if you want to become comparable to the world's top, so one has to look at where is the gap and what are the deficiencies. Okay, now the important thing is, if you compare the different universities across the world, I've taken only IIT Delhi as India. So you find it's the 185 rank worldwide. Then student faculty ratio 11, 100 international students, and 843 faculty. This is the best scenario in India. But look at next is Taiwan. NTU Taiwan is a 68th rank, and student ratio is 10, and it has 5,000 international students and 2,900 faculty. Then KAIST Korea has again 41st rank worldwide. Then student ratio is 8, and then international student 869 and 1,300. And Tokyo Institute is 56th rank, and again it has a international students of 1,622 students, and the student faculty ratio is 7. Hong Kong University of Science and Technology is 34th rank, and student faculty ratio is 8, and there are 3,000 international students. University of Malaya has 65th rank. I have taken one university from each country. Then it has a student faculty ratio 8, and there are 3,000 international students and 2,300 faculty. NTU Singapore has is a world 12th rank, and student faculty ratio is 6, and international students 6,000, and faculty strength is 3,800 compared to 843 in IIT Delhi. And Peking University is a world rank 18, and student faculty ratio is 6, and international student 5,000 odd, and faculty around 5,000. Zurich ETH is again 8, then student faculty ratio 7, and so these international students. And Imperial College has 11,000 international students. MIT has 3,700 international students, and their staff student ratio is 5 and 4. So you can see where do we compare. Okay, we need to understand the status to know where do we stand and where do we go ahead. And in IITs, if you look at the IITs, we have ranked from one. This is the top 500. These are among top 500 in India. So this is IITs are 185. These are the ranks of these IITs, and the student faculty ratio is around 11 to 15 in the old IITs, and it has increased. Number is large, and then international students is considered compared to other levels is quite pathetic. 100 Delhi, 116 Bombay, 94 Madras, and 29 Kharagpur, and 29 Kanpur, and 27 is Kharagpur. And this is the strength of the faculty. That way, Delhi, Bombay is better. Madras is also not bad. And then of course, rest of our faculty strength is relatively small compared to this. So what observation I have is 687 listed in QS Asian ranking among top 500, and out of 687 among top 500, 126 are in China, 9 IITs within top 500, 7 IITs within top 400 world ranking, and 2 IITs are within top 200. And student faculty ratio is in about high rank is 11 to 17. So it is. My suggestion is it is desirable that we have IITs must have a staff student ratio of about 10. Only that is the and it should not go beyond 10. And number of interest students is very low in IITs. IIT system has to make drastic changes to attract large number of interest students. So it is a major effort if you want to internationalize. Number of faculty in top IIT is very low, a few hundred compared to leading world institute, which is a few thousand. IIT faculty strength must increase by an order of magnitude to compete with best in the world and Asia. So we can understand the big gap that exists. From about it is clear that the IIT system has to effect revolutionary changes to aspire for top world ranking. This needs deep introspection. Then reaching even within top 100 will be a Herculean task and remains only as a pipe dream. IITs must emulate examples of China, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Taiwan, who are already ahead of India. So I think we need to, there's no time to relax. Okay, so now next I go to the admission process. Most of you know how admissions are done to IITs through 2 examinations, and multiple examinations, and also effect of coaching centers, etc. Okay, then JEE was a well-respected, credible scheme for IIT admission for decades. IITs are very possessive about it, and over the years, coaching industry has become a dominating influence on JEE outcome. Even the bright and the best need to take coaching. Unwillingly, IITs are feeding into coaching industry, and parallel plans have tried to curb the role of coaching centers. And then, due to large number of aspirants with seats less than 10% of the number. The problem is number of admitted, the number of those who take an exam, number of seats is very low. So recently, JEE has undergone change. I think the setting up of NTA was a positive step, and I think ideally, I think one nation, one entrance test must be ideal for admissions and similar to NEET. So I hope that is a thing. Now, there is a coaching industry impact is very huge. Multiple entrance test is a bane to students and boon to coaching industry. Annual turnover of coaching industry was 1.25 lakh crores, 1.25 lakh crore about a decade ago, much higher than higher education budget of Government of India. This is as per the Ashok Thakur, then Education Secretary, who wrote the article. But now it may be about 2 lakh crore. So you can see this is the amount turnover of the coaching industry is much higher than the investment in higher education in the country. With this money, we can have several IIT level institutions. Many colleges want to have their own tests as it's a huge revenue earner. They spend more in advertisement than IITs. Therefore, this is a matter of concern. Okay. Now, students hibernate for 2 years or more, killing their interest. They're trying to beat the system. Students become mercenaries and not visionaries. Formal education system is killed. No scholastic pursuit. School teachers get demotivated. And many existing entities conduct entrance tests may resist one exam. This is the thing. So the recent CBSE board said there are 70,000 students with more than 95% score. So all maybe deserve to be in IITs. Okay. Now, what is noted is number of top school leavers scoring over 90% in board in India is more than the total school leavers in India. So Indian students find cracking SAT, US American test, a cakewalk much easier than cracking JEE. Therefore, I'm making a sort of a controversial statement. I would say scrap JEE Advanced. The top merit of JEE Main and JEE Advanced may not differ widely. So if 2 tests throw different merits, there is something wrong. So toppers of JEE Main may be allowed to opt for both IITs and NITs, gives level playing field. Logic behind advanced test is that it separates the best from the rest. So better alternative could be to embed about 20% of advanced questions in the mains paper, which can be cracked only by the bright and the best. So if only one test becomes the basis for selection, a candidate has wider choice, and both IIT and NITs may be selected for the same. So you can have a level, you can combine counseling for IIT and NIT is in national interest, and it will be welcomed by students and parents and opposed by coaching industry. So, and another thing is, should we ignore the board performance of students? So my suggestion is you can still combine JEE and board, take a percentile of both. So that means take percentile of JEE, percentile of the board, and maybe take an average. If not 50-50, you make it 80-20. So this does justice to rural and poor students unable to take coaching. There's a contrast in the rigor of the above tests. See, board exam is designed to ensure maximum numbers pass, whereas JEE ensures that maximum number will fail. So comparing the two, performance of candidate may be a leveler unjust. So this is my suggestion that let us not ignore the board performance because they are also important. Otherwise, students will just totally ignore the +2 system. Okay. So look at the American universities. They take a SAT performance plus other attributes, etc. So then, I would say combining percentages for JEE and board is doable. And of course, these are some statistics I will skip because of shortage of time, which is available on the website. This top 2.5 lakhs candidates of JEE are eligible for JEE Advanced. 2020 statistics says this is the number of the people in different categories of students. And this is the cutoff score. Cutoff score of students in different categories. So you see, in general category and reserve category. This is the statistics. Cutoff scores vary widely. Okay. Then this is the number who are registered, number who appeared, number qualified, number offered, and this is for the JEE Advanced. And for JEE Advanced, registration fees are around 2,800. So that means there is a 70 crore for IITs conducting this test. So these 70 crore to conduct advanced, is it necessary? That is a matter to be seen. Then you have this is the marks of first and last candidates in each category and the ranks. Last rank marks. So you will see the marks of last rank and the marks of first rank is of different categories in the IITs. Okay, these are just a matter of detail. These are opening, closing graphs for different disciplines and different IITs. Obviously, these old IITs are having top rankers, followed by the two second generation IITs, and then converted IITs, and the 3G IITs. So these are the ranks which are available. So it is obvious that the students will choose the first generation as a top preference, and computer is the first preference, then followed by ECE and ME. And these are the issues of concern, and then that has to be addressed. That means if you want to attract the best top rankers, the latest IITs may have to work hard. Now but my suggestion is, if we can make available the common admission for IIT and NITs, I think students may have a wider choice, and he might try to prefer an NIT over an IIT for his desired discipline. Okay, then we find another critical thing is students are interested in engineering when they get in, but they get out of engineering when they go out. So this is the problem. The campus interviews are on that areas. So one has to, core engineering has some setbacks because of manufacturing problems in India. And there are, okay, I don't want to skip, there are already many, it is discussed. There are concerns, core engineering concerns, the core engineering disciplines are not being sought after. But we need core engineering and with a good capabilities for designs, manufacture, etc. And now, but India, large number of school leavers want to get into engineering. And if they don't get into IITs, they will come for masters for engineering. Of course, nowadays there is a trend that lot of students who can't get in India, they fly away with a one-way ticket. You will notice that the number of students going out to foreign universities is increasing and they find it affordable. Therefore, this is why not we increase the capabilities of these students to stay back in India? Because this is a money drain. RBI says there is a 353 million were transmitted in 1 month in 2021 for this foreign education. Therefore, there's a big drain, and that is one of the things. Now, one more thing I have found in IITs is that after they get into IIT, they think they have arrived because they are tired after the coaching industry's torture, and therefore they lose interest in learning. So they are no longer Vidyarthis, okay? And therefore, I think this is a matter of concern, how to retain their interest in learning and the subjects, etc. Of course, in MTech, we normally get good students through GATE, mainly from NITs or non-IITs. Most IIT MTechs are doing very well professionally. Okay, therefore, it is our master's programs are also serving a purpose of creating quality technical power in the country. IIT is struggling to get bright, motivated research scholars in engineering. Bright MTechs from IITs normally do not opt for PhDs. So best case for IITs are those joining PhD on deputation, such as QAP scholars, etc. Therefore, IITs must make efforts to attract foreign scholars. So this is a matter of concern. How do you get good research scholars, even for IITs? Okay, so these are some issues of the BTech, MTech, and PhD students of IITs. So one has to have a lot of strategies to get the good student. Then faculty, I would say the traits of a faculty. He must have an academic excellence, leadership, honesty, dedication, integrity, and personality, communication skills, and vision. This is what I expect. And that means we must select the best faculty, nurture them, make them own the institute, make them masters and not servants, as I told you. Nobody tells them what. This is one of the things in IITs. They have to create work for themselves. So it is mostly a top-down approach. And they must be accountable. Okay, a regular appraisal is necessary. Treat them with dignity both during and after service. Now, there is many reasons for faculty shortage. Our best BTechs don't offer MTechs. Our best MTech don't offer PhDs. We must choose faculty from above PhDs. Poor compensation, etc. But nowadays, I think the compensation is not the big issue, but some of the faculty, the right people have other options also. But faculty is a global commodity, so they may expect a global salary. Swadesha pujyate raja vidwan sarvatra pujyate. That's what they say. That means if you are a bright fellow, you are sought everywhere. So that's why we find a lot of our people working in America, etc., because they are being lured. Now, the faculty issues are have large adjunct faculty from industry, profession, and Western. It is a Western model. IIT alumni in US, Canada, who are teachers, are keen to teach in IITs on sabbatical. Why not use them? And so they are interested. I had some discussion with some other people. So they are interested to come and teach. And we must be flexible and liberal, cut administrative hassles, and then we can think of lecture by distance mode also. So this is one way we can tap some of the expertise abroad. But you must also see why there is no faculty shortage in North America and Europe. Salary difference between academia and industry is negligible, not the case in India. Even in China, and even professor salary is higher. Compare with Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, they compete for similar experts. Okay, so Now, how to tackle the faculty shortage? I would say pay them well, catch them young. I would say take bright BTech, MTechs as faculty interns, and I think use them for labs, tutorials, and curriculum development, etc. Allow them to pursue higher degrees. So what we need to do is we should even go to the neighborhood engineering colleges, see who is a bright fellow, and try to lure them if they have an interest in teaching and research. I think this is a big job. One must search for this. So IITs have a fairly good faculty selection scheme, and the policy is search, chase, and hunt. And we follow international practice, rolling advertisements, department search committees, department seminars, faculty feedback, selection committee, final selection by counseling. Then IITs employ out-of-the-box methods to choose faculty. So there have been a lot of flexibility in faculty selection. So IITs must continue to have current flexible methods to hire faculty and full-time or visiting. And for that, ministry has to facilitate. I think this is a very critical issue on the faculty selection mode. And challenges hiring faculties. Good faculty is hard to get, and therefore we must think of adjunct faculty, industry experience, etc. But never hire temporary faculty, because that is a big problem. Okay. Then all PGs must be TA. I mean, you must have a big group of teaching assistants for teaching, helping the teaching. Because as of now, that is a weak point. I think we must have almost call it as a cadre of teaching assistants as abroad, and they should be used. And of course, this is one sensitive issue, reservation in faculty. And IITs are finding hard to get suitable candidates in these categories. And because there are not many PhDs among these groups, and many positions remain filled. So if they are not filled, teaching suffers. And a high-level ministry committee comprising academicians and secretaries made recommendations to exempt IITs for faculty cadres. For students and non-teaching staff, there's no problem. But I think there is, I think we should be able to balance the social justice and excellence. And I think I believe some IIT committees are also working on it. They made some suggestions on how to accommodate this issue without sacrificing quality and flexibility. Two strengths of IIT is the quality and flexibility, and without sacrificing that can be done. See, we can follow the US norms on affirmative action. The norm there is all qualities being equal, preference will be given to select groups such as blacks, women, etc. in appointment. So this maybe similar schemes can be considered for IITs also. So, and we know that I think most of our political supportive to IITs. They will do everything to support excellence in IITs. I think there are many examples. Jawaharlal Nehru was a pioneer who started IITs. Indira Gandhi was also very supportive of IITs. Deve Gowda in a speech said that it is easier to become Prime Minister of India than to become a professor in IITDh-INAEBC. Maybe that type of, they have a great admiration for IIT system. Therefore, they would all support. Even Narendra Modi in a speech at Pan IIT in 2020, he always said he expects IIT and IIT alumni to make a big role in the economic development of India. And Sushma Swaraj, you all know, made a speech in the United Nations saying that India has created world-class IITs with no similar achievements by Pakistan. So I think they all want IIT to excel, and they definitely don't want any suggestion to dilute faculty quality. Therefore, only thing is the Central Education Institution Act talks about the caste reservation faculty hiring. At 8 universities are listed under the clause which are exempted from this. 8 institutions. Maybe they may consider exempting IITs too, if possible, to some extent. Okay, so I think these are issues. And another important thing is advertise in all areas. I think this is a novel way IITs normally, many of our departments are doing. In IIT Delhi, we advertise all areas, and in whichever area a person comes, you can select him. Never select a reduced merit, even if that area is crucial. So manage the visiting faculty. So I think one has, this is something which is novel in some of the IITs, that we advertise in all areas and select in whichever area we get the best. Because he will develop the department, etc. And also inbreeding is a factor, and there are some institutions would discourage, so that faculty heterogeneous background is highly desirable. So therefore, it is better to reduce inbreeding, limit inbreeding, may not eliminate. Some like IIT Kanpur was prohibiting inbreeding. You find, for example, IESC has a little high inbreeding. These are factors which goes in. And to select the faculty must be proactive. Search for new faculty for department. It must be continuous dynamic process. And so each faculty must search for new faculty. And what is the function of faculty? Teaching plus, research plus, outreach plus, administration. So they must excel in all the areas. A faculty must be doing this. Okay, then teaching. In IIT, we expect he should like teaching, he should like students, and therefore, teaching is also an important component. And a teacher should like the students. That's the important. So a bad teacher is a bane. You should never hire bad teachers. And merit and motivation must be prime factors. He must be merited, he will be motivated. And avoid temporary teachers. So what my suggestion is, take bright TAs, let them pursue higher degrees on part-time basis, and then use adjunct or visiting faculty. This is the only way you can try to ensure quality teaching, etc. And I would say that there are basically 4 types of teachers, I would name them. One is a competent teacher, effective teacher, popular teacher, dedicated teacher. Okay, a competent teacher may not be an effective teacher. Maybe an effective teacher may not be a popular teacher. But we expect all must be dedication and passion. Therefore, I think this is the important factor. And nowadays, there is a lot of technology-assisted teaching learning process, and IITs can make a major role in technology, NPTEL, and several schemes are there. I don't want to go into this. Everybody is aware of this. Then that means what we call it as a Gurukula to Shishyakula. That means we make more learners. Okay, so we should motivate them to learn, and that should be the sort of mechanism for the future. Okay, and now this is a new trend which is coming. What is a flipped classroom? That means a teacher will have a video lecture which he will distribute to the students, and students will go through the video lectures. And in the classroom, it will be more of a discussion session. And I have tried this; it is quite a successful thing. So but we need a band of TAs. IIT Bombay, Professor Pathak has successfully experimented this, and this is a very good scheme. One can see. Of course, test examination grading. So in IITs, test examination gradings are of a different levels, and we don't ask questions of explain and describe. You look at the IIT question paper and standard university question paper; they are totally different with several varieties like that. And now we follow certain examples, certain principles in IITs. Teacher not taking a class is blasphemy. Teacher must compensate for missed classes. And we must stress on fundamentals and not information, and no question of bazaar notes. So these are the difference in teaching. Okay, and we encourage a lot of education beyond classroom: projects, internship, co-curricular, social relevant, professional societies, seminars, technical activities, student bodies, etc. So these are the way we just take students to learn beyond the classroom. Okay. Then is in teaching, new faculty must concentrate on teaching. So that way, when you join a profession, you try to make sure that you are a good teacher and you impress the students. And you should give beyond book. Okay. And there are varieties. Now in Sanskrit, they say the Upadhyaya, Adhyapak, Acharya, etc. You must earn the name of a good teacher. Okay. And nowadays, there are a lot of problems of handling large classes, and you require large TA support, and then professors only handle lectures. Therefore, we have to have I made some suggestions, and in foreign countries, TAs are pre-trained to handle students. Okay, I've seen that. Therefore, we have to think of out-of-the-box methods to handle large classes, but still making teaching effective. As I mentioned here, TA support is critical, but you pay them also. Don't ask them to do anything free. So our goal is to transform the admitted students to good human beings, good engineers, and good subject engineers. So first you make them good human beings. So that is the objective of this. And your curriculum must be made such a way that a school leaver is transformed to an engineer. Okay, and that is the purpose of the education. And it has several components of the curriculum: basic science, department science, department elective, open elective, and so on. And they must be beyond syllabus also. And you must have humanities, languages, and so on. So these are the and laboratories are very important for I think IITs. But I think nowadays that has been neglected. This is a complaint. And though India is a software giant, there are soft targets. So all our labs are filled with PCs. Hardware is actively, activity is getting this thing. Therefore, we are losing on manufacturing to China because we don't train our students in laboratories. So lab training, even in IITs, is weak. Therefore, some students will do project industry. So you must combine internship with project. Okay, so this is about the normal education in the subject. But there is also the emphasis on value education, professional ethics, etc. And this is being pursued. Therefore, IITs have been trying to emphasize on, because GE, for example, has integrity policies. Professional societies have integrity. The AICT also is promoting this Indian knowledge system. Therefore, this is why the value education is important. Because we find technology minus human values is a disaster. Because Ukraine happens, COVID happens, climate change happens, and disaster happens. Therefore, with technology, we must also teach human values. Therefore, IITs must impart value education. That is important as well. So there are centers in IITs. IIT Delhi has a value education center. IIT Kharagpur has a center of excellence for knowledge Indian knowledge system. Kanpur has Vivekananda Samiti. IIT Madras has an organization like that. Now they have done a wonderful job. I think we will IIT Kharagpur has brought a unique calendar highlighting some achievements of Indian knowledge system, and there are lectures by YouTube, by IIT, by these spiritual experts organized by IITs. IIT Delhi has even Vipassana and art of living meditation. And IIT Delhi faculty went to Tihar jail to train the inmates on Vipassana, and it made a big impact. IIT Kanpur has developed a scripture website which anybody can access any of the Indian scriptures through this website. And Indian knowledge system, there is evidence. Many people may not be aware, because usually what happens of late, the formal education is not enlightening students in Indian knowledge system. This is known. These are the great scholars who have Shushruti, Aryabhatta, Chanakya, Varahamihira, Patanjali, Charaka, Nagarjuna, Kannada, Madhava. They are all before, or most of them are before BC. And they have done a surgery, astrophysics, economics, astronomy, yoga, Ayurveda, science, alchemy, and calculus. I think IITs must also inculcate or inform the generation about some of the contribution of ancient India to modern science. Okay, these are the work of Varahamihira. Then Kannada's Vaisheshika Sutra, he talks about gravity, and it is accepted in Manchester universities. So Kannada work is rarely quoted, etc. Bhaskaracharya's work is also nowadays it is coming up, but in a till now, after independence, we have kept our new generation very much ignorant of these things. Okay, even Dr. Bhatkar, who is the father of superconductor and alumnus of IIT, he says Pandey's grammar is suited to computers. In NASA is working on the Sanskrit grammar for adaptation to computers. So I think IIT should not lag behind in all these things. And as I mentioned, P.L. Dhar of IIT Delhi, he promoted Vipassana. Subhash Kak, his series of talks on YouTube, Indian Foundations of Modern Science. He was my colleague in IIT Delhi. Now he's a professor in USA. In fact, you must listen to his talks on these aspects. It will enlighten you a lot on these aspects. So therefore, IIT should try out of the box on Indian knowledge system. When German universities are teaching Sanskrit to know Indian knowledge system, why not IITs? Even Ambedkar, Vivekananda, Narayan Guru, they said that our people should have a knowledge of Sanskrit, etc. Now, I think, one can think of NEP says knowledge, language appreciation. So I think all IIT students should know one pan-India language, at least have a small one credit course or whatever it is, maybe Hindi, Urdu or Sanskrit or whatever it is. I'm making an out-of-the-box suggestion to make our students to be aware of Indian languages. In fact, I just wanted to mention to you, there are saints from IIT. Swami Mukundananda, IIT alumnus, is spreading Indian values, ethos, and mind management globally. He has gone to all the corporates by spreading Indian values and his lectures. His lectures are very much available on YouTube. Head of the majestic Delhi Swaminarayan Center is an IIT alumnus. So IITs are excelling in whatever they do. Okay. And SpeakMake is another achievement of IIT. Maybe Kiran said, most of you are aware, I don't want to say, because they are such out-of-the-box educational experiment of IIT system to promote values, ethics, mind control, self-management, art, music, and multi-dimensional expertise among youth would become a national asset to leverage great past to a greater future. So it is that SpeakMake is an affirmation of a priceless cultural heritage and pulsating and dynamic vitality of young people, a solid value-based education, the effectiveness of voluntary work, and the need for more inspired and holistic perspective in a world bombarded by too much information. So this is, I would say, we can again be proud of these things. Okay. Then these are the research. This is my last aspect I would say. And the aspects of research is very critical. And there are many criticism of IITs. The problem of funds, manpower, infrastructure, and our research not world class and all these things. Now, quality of PhDs and so on. So the research has several modes: student prior PhD, MTech publication, patents, etc. And impedance to research. I went with industry attitude, government attitude, lab to field, international pressure to curb Indian research. There are vested interests, of course, corruption, lack of ethics, and then opposition to India-centric solutions. So there are some problems, and our PG program can be a new model. See, PG diploma, and one of the positive aspects of the new education policy is to encourage a lot of flexibility. So IITs can start a lot of PG diploma, MTech by coursework, MTech by research work, PhD, and in fact, recently IIT Dharwad were planning to introduce one executive master's degree, and which can ultimately lead to an MTech also. So I think one has to look at, because this will also lead to research in this one. So therefore, and think of conducting PG class in the evening or weekends. So we must reach out to working professionals so that they will also acquire knowledge. So why research? It is mentioned. It's called Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na Pramaditavyam. Means goal of life should be self-study and spreading knowledge. Therefore, this has been there in our culture, and we should reach the boundary of knowledge and reach research. And there is a scientist and engineer. There is a difference of research, and there are various types of research: scientific, technical, art, life, etc. There are listed different forms of research. Okay, there are a variety of research. There is self-research, guiding research, sponsoring research, etc. And there are also there's fundamental and applied research, breakthrough and incremental research, academic and industrial research, and research leading to innovation. So there are various varieties of research. And I think the aspect is the breakthrough research is the one which is lead to new things. And these are the requirements of good research: human resources, infrastructure, equipment, fabrication facility, etc., etc. Then I think our people should know how to document research. Not just documenting is equally important as doing research. Therefore, how to write research papers, thesis, etc. We find even in IITs, one of the problems we faced was especially MTech students who used to come from other institutions or rural areas. They had a lot of problems with communication. Therefore, but they pick up. But I think this is also an important training IITs must give. Make sure that our documenting research is world class, and that means our thesis, research papers, patent, project reports, software. They're all output of research, and outcome is new theory, new modeling, new application, new product, new process, and simpler economic solution, new design process, etc. Okay, and these are the factors on quality of research: journal paper citation, etc. And so IIT should develop futuristic technologies, forming a national consortium. So what I say is we must identify areas where on a consortium basis IIT should, so that we must be leaders in creating new technologies for India. So these are the areas which I have listed. These are the ones which is, one can see later from the slides. So these are the critical areas. I listed all: climate change, urban planning, agriculture, healthcare, renewable energy, electric vehicles, 24/7 electricity, high-speed traction, smart GPS, automated rural roads, integrated transport, ICT, intelligent energy efficient buildings, factory automation. So the big list is big. These are all required for India. Who will have to work? Therefore, IITs together with industry and other stakeholders must take up these things, and for that, India has to spend heavily on research. Okay, and that's why how to it. So let us have, just like in America, we should have one organization called National Research Foundation. It has been mentioned as a policy by the government, but it has not yet come to stay. I think one nation, one funding agency is a good idea, because the researcher need not scout around for several organizations. So, but for that, industry also must chip in. So I think I think this is a matter of concern, and lastly I will go to this outreach and networking. Inter-institutional network is important. We should network with other institutions. Internationalization is equally important. And I would say permit foreign universities to open campus in India. NEP recommendation is there. So in fact, it is good that IIT is thinking of setting up a center in UAE. So let us open up. Okay, I think let us globalize. I think this is very important. To have more internationalization and more foreign students to come to India, more foreign teachers to come to India, and I think there must be a totally new way of rules and regulations to take care of this. Okay, and this is India. Indians spend over 4 billion per year on education abroad. India is taking SAT, etc. Therefore, I think I'm just suggesting that the international linkages has to be enhanced carefully, but only one point is it should be of Indian interest. Okay, so I listed a few things, how it can be done, what are the methods, etc. Because of shortage of time, I'm just trying to skip this. What are the modes of international linkages? Okay, and another is alumni interface. MIT has an alumni office, so Pan IIT, IIT ACB, and all these things. So there is a lot of scope for alumni interface because alumni are doing very well globally, and they are among the outstanding faculty. Even today, I found one alumni has been picked up by Federal Express or whatever it is. Head of several multinationals are IIT alumni. Therefore, in fact, they are prepared to chip in. I heard just recently, the 3 IIT Delhi alumni gave 10 crores each. Therefore, I think there is a considerable scope for alumni interface interactions, and bulk of American Indians are IITs. So about 5 lakh IIT alumni are in USA. IIT, okay. So therefore, wish list from alumni can be large. Therefore, as you said, each IIT can aim for a corpus of 1,000 crores. Okay, and of course, IIT Alumni Center Bangalore has taken a lot of initiatives. With IIT-Dharwad, and also and they are available. Then with Karnataka state body, there is some schemes are there. So that means something positive is happening with the group of IIT alumni, which can impact the society and the country at large. So there are many. There are several many IIT ventures are there. IIT alumni ventures in India, abroad. Okay. Then of course I don't have, because this everybody is talking industry interface modes. There are several ways IITs have to interface with the industry. They cannot be in isolation with the industry. And I have listed the modes in which the faculty IITs can interface. These are the different modes. Again, I will skip because they are all, maybe one can go through this. And then IITs have to be interfaced with professional societies, and that will enhance its role and outreach. And IITs, one of the important things, IITs linkage to society. Because that is one of the objectives. There is vast scope exists in India in the area of energy, education, environment, agriculture, communication, IT, transport, roads, healthcare, water management, waste management, weather forecasting, seismic studies, flood control, disaster management. There is also Unnat Bharat Abhiyan of Ministry of Education to help remote villages. As I told you, sky is the limit to tackle local problems provided due support is given. Because there is one criticism whether many IIT research starts with library and ends with library. So now I think it can start with society and end with society. And I would even say that first year students must take an internship in villages at the end of first year, so that they know they bring in problems from society to the IIT. And there are several ways. And of course, the last point, most of you are aware of innovations and industry parks. Each IIT must set up industry parks. All the IIT Madras has shown the route. All other IITs have their own industry parks as innovation centers. And that is a very important activities of IITs. Therefore, because this is an international phenomenon, and therefore startups, the few new culture in the startups, and I think each IIT must be able to at least plan for at least a few startups every year. I encourage this, etc. Okay, so now Infosys has agreed for an innovation center at IIT Harvard. Vinod Kosta, Deshpande, they can be tapped. They are very good. Deshpande Foundation in Harvard, he has supported over 100 entrepreneurs. So many IITs have successful startups with majority in software field and a few in manufacturing. But I'm sure there are many startups from IIT alumni abroad. And I think this is again a very much unexplored area which can be taken up. Therefore, I conclude by saying IITians have done extremely well in India and abroad. Nation's expectations are high, and IITs have potential to contribute to make India great. People must feel the benefit of IIT system. So we must create all-round excellence in IIT system, because only the best will survive globally. Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for a very wonderful talk. We have few questions in the Q&A box. I will read it out, sir, and we can have a discussion.
Sure.
Sure. The first question is, how much importance should be given to the ranking? Given that the feeling is if the institute do the right things, then the rankings will automatically follow.
Yes. I think we should not be too much fanatical about ranking. I agree. But we should do our, what I feel is, we should do our job well in all these aspects: teaching plus, research plus, outreach plus. Okay. So if we do this very well, ranking will come automatically. So recognition, you don't have to chase after recognition, and then recognition will chase you. That's what it is.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, the next is more like a suggestion. IIT faculty must also write textbooks like the MIT faculty did a few decades back, sir. So this is a suggestion. So now I'll take a question. Sir, this is from younger audience. As you said, the funding based on performance, ranking, and need. But shouldn't the funding be important to perform well, which in turn is important to rank well? So my question is, how do we as students can play our role to ensure that we get appropriate funding?
Yes, I know that already IITs are providing seed money, etc., for the younger faculty, and therefore I think funding should be given. But then as this is morely even the international practice. I know in Canada that the NSERC for new faculty they give small funds and they will expect you to do some good work. Based on the good work, they'll take more. So it is a sort of a chain reaction. So I think but young faculty, need not just be after these freebies or whatever. But I think it may be a good idea to link up. Maybe I think you should make groups. Nowadays, the one culture which is not there is that some people want to work in isolation or in a solo mode. But I think it will be a good idea if a groups are formed in each department. So it should become more of a group activity. A senior faculty must mentor and guide them. Okay, then I think the overall impact may be better that way.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question, sir. As the technological intervention require understanding of socio-economic policy of the region, most of the IITs now have Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, sir. What are your views on including studies related to law, policy in the curriculum for undergraduate and postgraduate students, that is MS and PhD, sir?
But again, the thing is, we should be careful in introducing these subjects. Many of them will, that way patenting is also a process, etc. Therefore, that's why, I said you must integrate, you are going to create sort of integrated human being. He must be aware of some of the social things, but how do we introduce and how effective it is should be decided locally by the institute. And they can be there, of course. That way, even today, biology, they say medicines, several things are there. But in some area, you must develop expertise and while others are only supportive for what you are doing.
Okay. Sure, sir. So, last question, sir. What would be your comment on impact of COVID-19 or rather the sudden shift to online education on the qualities of IITs, sir?
Yeah, I think that maybe since in this period I was mostly at home here, so many of the IITs have experimented it. Not only IITs, maybe other places also. But I think we must accept work from home, then online education, then teaching from distance. All these are becoming new norms, not only because of COVID, but because the new technologies are available, which can be used. See, earlier Upanishad means sitting next to the teacher and learning. That was the meaning of Upanishad. Now you had to change. So I think the learning is almost becoming from a distance mode. But one thing is we should make sure that there is some type of human interaction is also embedded. I hope this COVID is on the way out. Hopefully,
yes.
But I think we should get back to human interactions because only that is possible. I know there cannot be a single answer to this issue. It's very adaptive, and each one have their own different experience. But one thing I am concerned also is that too much of commercialization of education through technology perhaps is not goal of a teacher. Because nowadays, I think there are education technology, organizations who are so powerful and rich, they will sponsor World Cup matches also. Okay. Therefore, I think we have to look at the things, because unfortunately, whenever you have one common interest, coaching centers will rush up. I think now you have a university common interest. I'm sure new coaching centers will be ready for that. Okay. Therefore, the issue is we have to education is a very complicated, complex process. So you must try to follow lot of moral, ethical, and economical norms to handle this.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, as there are no other questions, we will take the time to thank Professor S.S. Murthy for a very wonderful talk on the topic. We would also like to thank him on behalf of Team SAMVAAD for accepting and kindly giving the talk. Thirdly, I would like to thank our audience who have taken their precious time of their busy schedule to come and grace this occasion, and thank you very much to all. And we have a regular updates of upcoming SAMVAAD on our website. So we request you to please keep a tab on the same. Professor Sheshu, sir, you would like to add anything, sir?
Thank you, Professor Murthy. I mean, it is a very comprehensive analysis of IIT's journey.
Yeah, I have to rush through
40 years that you have been associated, more than 40 years. So it is an extremely comprehensive view. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for the very nice presentation and the talk. And thanks once again to all our audience for gracing the occasion. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much and good day, sir.
Can we have a copy of the presentation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll share it. No problem.
Yeah, we can.
No, because I know that I could not go through several of these things because a lot of details were there. So I have no problem. I can send it. No problem.
Thanks so much.
I will just send the PPT, or I can send it to Tejas and he can.
Yes.
We will arrange it for.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
just make
Yes.
it. I no problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very
It is
much.
great. And I'm sorry I had to run through because with my over enthusiasm, my number of slides went nearly 200. So this should have been 2 or 3 lectures, I think. No. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.